Today, we're going to be giving you guys a beginner's guide to Limbus Company. We're going to be focusing mainly on team building, getting the most resources in the beginning, the best characters for you if you're brand new. We're going to jump right into it. If you guys like, join the Discord community. We have a Limbus Discord community where we talk about all things Limbus. So any questions you might have, you can ask the community. It's very active, even to this day. Also, links in the description down below. You'll be able to find it. Now, when you first start off the game, you're probably wondering who the best characters are, what kind of characters you want, how do we do this? Okay, let's just jump right into it. In this game, there are different team compositions that you can build. Bleed, Sinking, Poise, all these big wumbo names. I'm just going to give you one character for each team comp that you probably want to get if you want to play a specific team comp. We're going to start off with the comps that are easiest to play, and then we're going to go into comps that are harder to play, but can do a lot more damage. So, first thing that I do want to say is the first tech that I want to give you, neat tip and trick, is E.G.O. There's a bunch of E.G.Os in the game. They're just like final skills, final smash that you can get. There's a bajillion of them right now. The only one you want to focus on as a beginner is Fluid Sac, okay, for Faust. Ideally, as a beginner, you want to have Faust on your team as much as possible because specifically of this right here. Fluid Sac is the best healing E.G.O in the game because it can heal 15% of all allies max HP. Typically speaking, you're going to have 6 characters on the field, so 15% of 6 characters is going to be a grand total of essentially 90% heal for your whole team. This heals 90%, not your whole team back to 90%, but it's going to heal like 90% of the health because you're going to do 6 times 15% for all 6 characters, 90%. Strongest heal in the game, don't even worry about it. But if you're wondering how to get it, either get it through polls, don't recommend, or you can farm for it. Just go into dispense, go into season 1, and you'll be able to find it here. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you don't have the E.G.O, go into it, farm up 400 shards, get that E.G.O. Probably one of the first things I would recommend. Now, team building. Charge. If you want to play charge team, the one character I would focus on getting first is multi-crack office rep Faust because you get off access to, well, Fluid Sac. And not only that though, charge, very, very simple team to play. This is the character that I would recommend first, and then you can play a bunch of other charge characters if you wanted, okay? I do not have the best charge team, but if I wanted to play a charge team, this is just an example of 6 characters in charge. Get multi-crack Office Faust and these 6 characters here if you want to build charge. Is this the best charge team? No. But the best unit for charge right now is Faust. So if you want to build a charge team, get Faust. Now, bleed. Bleeding is actually the next team comp that I would recommend, most beginners play. Because currently in this season, bleed is, well, the meta in the sense that there's a lot of bleed units that you can get right now on the banner rotation because bleed is the way to go. Now, if you want to build bleed, there are a set of 4 characters that you need to get if you want to play bleed optimally. The 4 characters that you want to get is La Mancha Land, Don Quixote, Prince of La Mancha Land, Ryoshu, Barber La Mancha Land, Otis, Priest of La Mancha Land, Gregor. The reason why is La Mancha Land units synergize with each other. The more La Mancha Land units you have, the better they are. It's really tough to say which bleed characters you want, but these 4 characters are a package deal. If you want to play bleed, you're going to need 4 of these characters. It's going to cost you a lot. The other 2 characters, well, there's no options. This character right here, Lobotomy Ryoshu, she is such a strong bleed character. The issue is that she's only on a limited time banner event. Character that comes back maybe once every 3-4 months, okay? And you kind of need her in a bleed team. Very, very, very freaking strong standalone unit. If you want to play bleed, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters to play bleed optimally. So bleed could be a character team that you build to eventually because all these characters are on the shop and it's in this banner too. So you could definitely get this team comp if you want. And if you're wondering the last character for bleed, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last character is in the shop through standard fare. This guy. Ring Pointus student. If you get this character here, that would be the 6 team members I would run for bleed. They're the strongest Unga Bunga bleed team that I can think of right now. That's if you want to build team. Now the next team that you can build is Poise. Poise is essentially a crit-based team. I personally do not have enough characters to build a full crit-based team, and not the best characters either. However, I do have some units that could play Poise. Okay, so first and foremost, these 2 characters, they are Poise, but they're not that good. I personally, if you want to play Poise, I would focus on not Sank Association. There's the Blade Lineage Result. He's probably the strongest of Poise. I don't have him, and he's not in the shop right now. But the 2 characters that you could get, technically speaking, if you want to build Poise, and by far the strongest combo right now for Poise, is Full Stop Office Rep Honglu, Full Stop Office Fixer Heathcliff. These 2 units here are gonna be your main rotation for Poise if you want to build Poise, because these 2 characters right here have team synergy, they work off of each other, and they do so much damage, it's insane. But however, they're a crit-based team. They can do lots of damage, but that's it. They're not going to do crazy damage. They're just crit-based staggers, okay? The team that I would run personally that I have right now for Poise would be Heathcliff, Honglu, Mersault, Sinclair, Don Quixote, and you would flex in your 6th character with a better Poise 6 character. Okay. The next one that I want to talk about is, last but not least, sinking. Okay, sinking. The reason why I wanted to talk about sinking is because sinking is probably, I want to say, the best team comp. The best team composition for endgame content if you want to do a lot of damage. And it's also got the team composition with what I want to arguably say the strongest character in the entire freaking game right now. So, sinking, if you want to play sinking, is going to be these 6 characters. Gregor, Otis, Ryoshu, Ishmael, Heathcliff, Isang. The 2 characters I would focus on is Heathcliff first, by far, Spicebush second. The reason why is Heathcliff is probably the strongest single character in the freaking game right now. And Spicebush Isang, he is needed if you wanted to do big damage because he's a detonator, okay? He can detonate stacks of sinking for hundreds and thousands of damage. It's insane. But if you want more consistent hundreds of damage, do Lobotomy Solomon. If you want big, high ceiling thousands of damage, pick Spicebush. Okay. Now, these are just the brief units that I would recommend you build as a beginner. Okay. If you wanted my humble opinion, my truest opinion, I would honestly build a sinking team first because it's going to get you through most of the content. Even though you're not going to be able to use Faust and you're not going to be able to use Fluid Sac, I would still recommend doing sinking. However, if you're adamant on building Faust, I would probably build Faust in a charge team or a bleed team. She's got an okay bleed ego with the one who grips, and she's also got the strongest charge identity. So if you want to build Faust with Fluid Sac, if you want to have heal in your gameplay guaranteed, build a charge team first or build a bleed team. You can put Faust in your bleed team, okay? But in my humble opinion, the first character that I would build is 100% going to be Heathcliff. Heathcliff by himself is probably just the strongest character in the game because his tech is so goddamn strong. And to prove a point, we will take him into Lemire Dungeon. We will take you into, some dungeons and we'll do some fights. And we'll also show you the daily grind, okay? So that was just the first part. We got the characters. You got a few ideas of what characters you want to build. Now, how do you grind? How do you play the game efficiently? Here's the biggest thing. Each day, you're going to get your stamina resources, okay? What is the best way to do this? Obviously, you can condense your stamina into these modules and let it recharge. However, if you want to play the game relatively free to play, and it's still technically free to play, and if you want to get the most efficiency and the most resource out of the game as possible, you want to go into Lunacy and you want to refresh your stamina twice every day. That's the most you want to refresh it. You refresh it twice every day and you condense all of that into boxes. Boxes are going to give you more ways to get resources. So first efficiency tip, refresh your stamina twice a day with your currency, get more stamina. And every day you're roughly going to get a good chunk of stamina anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The reason why is if you want to be free to play, get the most resources, just refresh your stamina twice every day, condense that. Now, stamina grinding, resource grinding. What do? My personal opinion is if you wanted to play the game as efficiently as possible, what I would do is I would skip dungeons for threads and I would play out the dungeon for EXP. Let me explain. The reason why is thread dungeons, you can get more, you can be more efficient with threads by playing the battle. But if you skip the battle, you get 1.5 resource, okay? So let's just say right now I go into here, skip battle. It's going to cost me 4 modules. It costs me double the amount of resources, but I get 1.5 amount of resources. So instead of getting 20 if I fought the battle twice, I would get 15. The reason why that's important is because of daily bonuses. Each day, you get 3 bonuses for thread dungeons. And thread dungeons are going to be the resource that you need in order to be able to upgrade characters, upgrade skills. So what I would do is I would go into thread dungeon, skip battle 3 times to get the most amount of resources as possible within the day, even though it's going to cost me more stamina overall. Now, EXP is the one dungeon that I'm not going to skip, okay? With EXP, I'm not going to skip the dungeon, but what I am going to do is I'm going to show you the power of a sinking team just by itself, okay? Because each day during your daily grind, there's going to be a quest that says kill 10 amount of stuff, okay? It's going to say kill 10 amount of stuff as your daily. So to complete your dailies a bit more efficiently this way, I would go into this dungeon and I would fight. Now the reason why this guy is so strong is literally because he is the one and only character that is able to do a bunch of damage by himself. Let me show you. When you're playing him, he's a little bit weak in the beginning. 27 damage, not a lot of damage, but he's not strong because he can do a lot of damage unconditionally. He's strong because he's got this little gimmick where he has a second form, okay? So what Heathcliff's strongest, by far the strongest ability is he has a skill 3 that has 2 forms, okay? He has a normal skill 3, which I did in turn 1, which is where he's smacking them with coffins in his human form. But then he has a second skill 3, where he can be smacking people in his big horsey form. Let me show you. He's about to change from Sailor Moon into a man on a horse, okay? Ba 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 ba. You see now? He just turned into a horse. And you can see right here, he doesn't have a skill 3. His skill 3 is his blue skill. But what I can do is I can do this. Because I don't have his skill 3, but I do have 35 sanity, which is enough, I can trigger his skill 3 by clicking a defend skill. Oh, and you can see this guy right here, just almost 200 damage with the skill 3. Okay, so that was 157 damage. We're about to do big damage. 1, 2, 3, 93. 93 damage. Alright, that was a low roll, okay? That was a low roll on his skill. That guy still did 93 damage on his low roll. And look at that. Okay, so he gets off his horsey, okay? So my guy got off his horse. We're gonna get back on our horse, though. We're gonna get back on our horse by using defend. And every time you go on and off your horse, that's the gameplay. You get on your horse, do skill 3 by defending, get off your horse, and get back on your horse. So he's gonna do his thing right here. So this is weak damage. So he's in his weak form right now. In his weakest form right now, he's at 85 damage. The thing with Heathcliff is that he gets stronger as the battle continues. And let me show you the biggest reason why I like Heathcliff, okay? So in this game, typically speaking, you can only hit one character at a time normally. There are ways to hit multiple people, okay? For example, this skill right here hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. This skill hits 5 characters, but his purple skill, if you're on the horse and if you're on the horse with the purple skill, what you're gonna see is his purple skill is going to hit 2 to 3 characters. So he's hitting one person right now, and he's hitting 2 characters. That's so busted. And that's why Heathcliff is like so strong, because right now he's doing his 3rd skill, 138, and it's also a low roll. So I would say, as a beginner, if you want to start building a team, I would recommend getting Heathcliff first, trying to build a sinking team, and going from there. Because as you can see, Yi Sang and Heathcliff is super strong. We want to get back on our horse, so we're going to go defend. We're going to get back on our horse. And right now, since he's ramped up, he's hitting 2 people. That's crazy. Even in his basic human form, after he's ramped up enough, his purple skill by default will hit 2 people. Potentially 3 people. So that's the power of sinking in Heathcliff. He can just do so much damage just by himself, just unconditionally by himself, and he will just do so much damage. And as you can see in this battle right here, it's pretty like it's pretty easy. We go back into here. Everyone's basically almost dead. This is skill 1. Skill 2, he just wiped like 3 characters by himself. And that's Heathcliff. Okay, and this is kind of how you want to do your dailies, essentially. Okay, what you do for dailies is you punch in 3 thread dungeons, easy 38% of a team's damage. This guy was essentially, out of 6 characters, did 38% of the damage. Very insane. But just to finish up, you go to your seasons, past missions, and as you can see, by doing the EXP dungeon, clearing the thread dungeons, as well as clear any stage, and defeating 10 enemies, that finishes your daily. Yeah, that just finishes your dailies. And in finishing your dailies, you're going to be able to gain these little packs and claiming it all. So, what are other tips and tricks I would recommend for you guys? I would highly recommend, if you guys can afford to, get the season pass. The season pass is so good because, yes, as a free-to-play player completely, you're able to grind for this box right here. These boxes right here, okay, allow you to be able to go into the consumable section, and you can open these boxes for character shards. With these character shards that you do get, you can farm it indefinitely and get any characters you want. Say for example, if you want Heathcliff, you can go into season 4 when it becomes available to get Heathcliff. If you wanted to, you could go into, if you want to say you want to build a bleed team, and if you want to get Ring Point Otis because he's a very strong bleed character, you can open shards to get these boxes. I would say on average, if you're willing to spend money, it becomes very profitable for you to start farming for those boxes. The reason being is, if you're a free-to-play player, by getting 10 EXP on your battle pass EXP, you're gonna be able to get one box, okay? But what ends up happening is if you can pay, you know, the $10 for the season pass, you'll get another 2, so you get 3 in total, and 3 of these boxes represent about 6 shards, okay? 3 of these boxes represent 6 shards. And the best way to be able to farm for shards as a free-to-play player is by going into Mere Dungeons and grinding Mere Dungeons. Mere Dungeons is going to it's going to give you the most amount of EXP for your season pass to be able to farm up the best for your characters, okay? However, this has just been a very, very quick guide for the beginning players. To summarize and reiterate, if you want to build a bleed team, get bleed characters. If you want to build a charge team, get Faust first. If you want to have an easier early game overall, get Fluid Sack and play Faust. If you want to build a sinking team, definitely get Heathcliff. There are a lot of other characters we can talk about building stronger team compositions, more unique tips and tricks to be able to play out team comps and have it do tons of damage. But I just want to give you a few quick tips and tricks for you to be able to farm efficiency, max out your account as fastable, and get new characters. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys join my Discord community. Links in the description down below. We talk about all things Limbus there. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the Discord community or post them in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. John Panio signing off. I'll see you guys later. Oh, bye-bye for now.